Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have the L-size pop-up parade figure of Guts from Berserk. This figure is the re-release version, which I'm so thankful that they did that because the more I looked at the user photos of this figure, the more I wanted it. For a price figure, it is super detailed and probably the best figure of Guts out there, if you don't consider all the statues. Anyway, I'm really excited to open this up, so let's get started. I picked this up from AmiAmi back in March 2024 when this figure was released for the second time. He was first released in November 2022 but went up in price because of how awesome this looks. In fact, despite this second re-release, as well as a third re-release in August 2024, this figure is still so expensive in the aftermarket today. Well, today as in at the time of this recording. Like wow, 20,000 yen? Oof, don't pay that much for a pop-up parade. This figure is an L-sized pop-up parade, so its box is bigger than the usual pop-up parades. I won't really say this box is thick and sturdy, but it is of a nice quality regardless, like Nandroid boxes. It also features photos of the figures on the sides. Opening up this box and taking the single blister package out, I first have a one-page set of instructions. Next up is the blister package, and opening this up, I first have the usual pop-up parade hexagonal base. Next is Guts' Dragon Slayer sword, followed by his alternative helmet, and last but not least, the figure of Guts himself. And that's all the components that comes with this figure. Now to assemble him. For assembly, I'll first set him up on the base. Guts sits on this rocky pedestal which has two plastic pegs below. This fits into the holes on the base, which I am so happy is black. It blends so well with the figure. Any other color would make this figure look bad. Next up is the alternative helmet. It looks super similar to the default helmet, but it's different. The alternative helmet has translucent eyes, making it glow if you insert a mini light. In this alternative helmet, there is a hole to slot this very specific type of mini light in, as mentioned in the instructions. The default helmet has eyes painted in a vibrant shiny red color. Since I don't have a mini light, and since the default helmet looks more vibrant, I'm just gonna use the default helmet. Last but not least is the giant sword. The end at the handle can be removed, and this sword slots into Guts' hand. Once I put this end piece back into the handle, that's it. With that, I have the L-size pop-up parade of Guts from Berserk by goodsmile company, fully assembled. Even though this is a pop-up parade, which is technically a price figure, Guts looks more like a scale figure. The details on this is just amazing. The armor and cape are so intricately sculpted and painted. This linear etching texture that you see is actually sculpted, reminiscent of the hatching textures found in the Berserk manga art style. It's beautiful. Zooming in, the armor is also very detailed with armor segments clearly defined and tiny metal studs that holds the armor segments together. The mouth portion also has gaps, giving the sense that it can be opened, but it can't. Well, it would be awesome if it could. As for the default helmet, the bright red eyes contrast perfectly well with the black armor. It's just a small slit, but so effective. On the back, Guts' cape has a less shiny paintwork, yet the linear hatching textures are still nicely done. It flows with the movement of the cape. Lastly, Guts stands on this rocky pedestal, which is realistically sculpted. It sits on a black base, which is a perfect color match, so that hexagonal base, which is usually criticized, does not look so out of place. With that, I highly recommend this figure, especially if you can get him at the original price. It's so worth it for the quality that you're getting. I had my regrets when I missed the first release, so really thankful that goodsmile did a second release. And that's all for today's video. It's a short one for this pop-up parade figure, and I hope you enjoyed it regardless. For the price I paid, this is truly an art piece. I love the linear texture and how it reminds me of the beautiful Berserk manga art style. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed what you saw, do leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!